and that you would just, know that I have come out here and I'm taking a beating mainly by you guys, and I'm just kind of asking that you would stop attacking me. And I'm saying that because I can't live with diarrhea every day and my stomach hurting and reading this stuff, and to know that guys that hunt for a living have sort of like started putting their scopes on me. And I say that because there's this phenomenon called confirmation bias. And what that means is that when you make an assumption about something, you will bias all the information that you observe towards that assumption. So you guys have obviously made the assumption, and then maybe there's multiple assumptions in this group, that I came out here to maybe steal the church from Dave, or maybe merge it to create a V1, or maybe that I came out here to, hurt his chances of getting it back. And I just want to say that's not true. But if that's your assumption, then you're going to look at everything that happens while I'm trying to help, and you're going to make that confirmation bias. So my greatest prayer has been, God, I can't fight these guys. You both had mentioned, or you guys like the comment about me being overwhelmed. The truth is, I can preach and teach and do all the work. The work's not the problem. It's the personal attacks or the organizational attacks, or it's always somebody assuming that what I'm doing is wrong, or that what I'm doing is with a malicious intent. Because I told Bobby, I was like, I don't minister with that level of complication. I'm a pretty simple dude, and I don't even think about it like that. And so I just want to start by saying what I just said, and saying it out loud so you guys can hear it. At the end of the day, there's been so many times because of the attacks that you guys have leveled against me, where I've been like, I just want to go home. Like, I never asked for this. I came out here to help. Nobody believes me. It's been a dark time, and it's really been because of this group. Because really, there's hundreds of other people that are really falling in love with Road to Life Church and getting help. And you guys have seen we've been growing through the pandemic. And I personally thought that we have been doing things as the former executive pastor that would make Dave and Vanessa proud. And so I just want to say that out loud. Now, it kind of is apparent that you guys have already made those wrong assumptions because you pick apart everything I say. And I had told Bobby, I said, well, I even really stopped talking for about a month because I just felt like these guys take everything I say and they weaponize it against me. And I said, I can't bear that. It's like they just don't believe anything I say. They don't believe that we're really behind the scenes working for Dave and Vanessa, trying to create a pathway back, trying to get them healthy. And so I hesitated this morning, but I was like, no, you know what? I think it would help them to hear from my perspective how these things happened. But then even seeing the feedback here, Kevin, by you, and then, it's just, even with the 6 locations, it's like we can go through this endlessly where you got, even this voice memo, I'm sure you guys can screen record it. Many of you have already recorded conversations and that type of thing and not told me about it. And so it's like, I've been in this situation where the assumption's always been, Mike's here to hurt us. Mike's here to do something bad. And as a man of God, that's really dangerous territory to make that assumption about me because I'm giving it my level best. And with the 6 locations, it's like, from my perspective, we have people from Maryville, and I know this because they begged me to open that building up. People from Chesterton, and I know this because they begged me to open that building up, the Boys and Girls Club, and then Michigan City. And so there's 3 locations worth of people. And then in New York, none of my locations are open, but that doesn't mean I don't have to shepherd 3 locations worth of people. So that's how I get to 6. It's not me being underhanded or trying to do anything like, shady. It's just that's how I look at it. The cross-posting, again, when I came into this context, Road to Life was sort of a shell of what it used to be because the Indio church plant, church split situation, staff leaving, a turmoil within the staff, and you guys saw the turmoil. So we were operating on a small team. So my goal was to try to match the previous output for Road to Life so that we could really go into like kill mode where it's like, man, look, they're putting out all this stuff, they're ministering to people online through the social content. So again, Bobby knew about that, Josh knew about that. We agreed as an executive team that it would be a win for Road to Life. And with that, the team was mortified when I reached out to New York yesterday and said, hey guys, you posted that link, you cross-posted. I don't consume Facebook. I'll lose my mind. I've said that a million times. So Josh and I, we also don't micromanage because we can't. It's too much. And so while we're, pastoring people through marriage and divorce and addiction and all this stuff we're doing, our creative team, we just have to grow them. And so with the cross-posting, I told them yesterday, hey guys, take off the links. That was so upset that happened, and I said, don't do it again. And then I also said some of the posts you guys have approved, you're hearing it one way from New York. And it's things that I've preached and said in my sermons in Indiana, but making it a social post out of context, it's hitting people a different way. So you got to increase your discernment there, and maybe we can even put a system where I review it. So then this morning when that other post went up and I saw it and woke up to a flurry of messages from you guys, I would hit up New York again. I said, guys, look, you missed one, and they were mortified because they want to get better, and they're trying to help the Road to Life team get better too. So again, no harm, no foul. It wasn't intentional. And again, we do have to try to raise up both churches. So emails do need to be sent out to people, just like I've sent out many emails through Road to Life and V1. And it's just a hard thing to try to lead 2 churches. But with you guys, where the growth could occur is if you truly assumed that I was for this church, then instead of publicly commenting and posting and calling it out and putting a bigger audience on it, it would be like you could back up and be like, hey, let me hit up my, but again, it's just like, it's the wrong assumption because there was no intentionality to it. And so that's why I try to communicate all this stuff. And lastly, about the giving. So what I'm going to do today and this is the best way to do it, and it's the way that protects everybody's data. Is I'm going to reach out to my bookkeeper, have her run a report, and see if in fact we have anybody from Road to Life that has given to V1 Church, and then we are going to have my admin reach out to them to ensure that they in fact did it with intentionality and that they understand the implications of their gift. I do think it's important to say though, there have been, and there probably always will be, people from this region that see things that we go through in New York and out of the kindness of their heart want to help. That's okay, and the same is true of Road to Life. I've actually had people from my team in New York say, hey man, I gave a seed to Road to Life because I believe in what's going on there. So we have to deal with that with wisdom. We don't want to assume, but we also want to give me an opportunity to deal with that with those givers, and I feel like that's the most honorable way to do it. I'll go back and have them run the report from the month I transitioned in, so we know that it's exhaustive. So this is a good 8-minute message. Again, guys, I don't know how else to tell you. I'm trying my best. Thank you for hearing my heart. Thank you for trying to give me a chance to do a very difficult thing. This thing is like, we don't want to hurt more people in the process and damage more relationships because the wrong assumption was being made. And sometimes, when you read 1 Corinthians 13, and you talk about love is patient, love is kind, love is gentle. We need to bring the love of the Father into this and say, I'm going to be patient with this information. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be gentle. And those are things that as men do not come naturally to any of us, but it's needed in this situation because we are the spiritual pillars and fathers of this house. And for me, whether it's another couple days or, a couple months, I don't know how long I'm here. I'm just trying to show the kids how, it's just like in an abusive marriage, you don't fight in front of your kids. Kids are wounded for that. And all I've ever tried to say is like, let's just be on the same team. And that's what people need so much now. And I'm telling you guys, I personally just can't keep having everything I do. And I told Bobby, I said, Bobby, I made a commitment to have clean hands, a clean heart. I made a commitment to increase my prayer for Dave and Vanessa. I just don't know how else to do that. And I feel personally like for you guys, the only way that would prove it is if Dave came back this Sunday and I just went back to New York and then you say, oh, what he was saying was true. But then what if Dave's not ready to come back this Sunday? And so what if I got to keep coming back and preaching here, to do that? That's all I'm saying. So hopefully you guys hear my heart. I got to let you go to do this broadcast here in a little bit. But yeah, I'm going to get on with it.